Prime Minister, you spoke first at the start. You speak first now.
Thanks very much, and thanks you to all of you for your questions this evening. Debate's the lifeblood of democracy, and questions from the people as we face elections is what it's all about. My plan for the future, which I've gone to in a bit of detail earlier on, is out there. It's pretty basic. How do you build the economy and jobs of the future? And that was a basis of a question earlier on. How do you build the health and hospital system of the future so that when you have strife, when you need a surgeon, when you need elective surgery, when you need an accident emergency department, when you need to know there's going to be nurses there, when you need to know we're training enough doctors, that we have properly funded and invested in the system. That's part of building the health and hospital system for the future. And we had a question earlier on which was terrific about the future of our school funding and whether we're properly providing for the independent sector, the Catholic sector and the rest as well. That's our plan. It's called the Better Schools Plan. And we have a plan also for the National Broadband Network, and I was talking to Ed Husick, the local member here before, that out here in Doonside, I think that's the name of the place, Technology Park or Technology High School, they're already connecting with the NBN to NASA in America to do classes on aeronautical science. That's terrific. That's part of our vision for the future, but also cost of living pressures, to keep interest rates as low as possible in terms of paying off your mortgage. And we've got them now, the lowest they've been in 60 years. Secondly, helping with the costs of raising kids, the childcare rebate, which we've increased from 30 to 50, and making sure you keep the school kids bonus, 1.3 million families across the country, again to help with cost of living pressures, which Mr. Abbott says he will abolish, because his priority, as he said, is this paid parental leave scheme to provide $75,000 for millionaires to have a baby, which I still don't get. That's our plan for the future. The alternative plan, which you will think about and make your decisions on at the election, is out there for you to discuss and debate as well. But what I cannot understand 10 days before an election is why Mr. Abbott couldn't give me a straight answer to the question I asked before about when will you put out all your costings. You've got 200 of them out there you've said you've done. We need to see that. Because if you're going to hit the economy with a massive hit of $70 billion worth of cuts, let me tell you, there is a risk that that will throw an economy in a delicate time in the global economic environment into the possibility of recession. And that is a place we just don't want to go. It is, I understand the ideology, I understand the policy, but it is the wrong policy, and it's doubly wrong at this time. And finally, on priorities, can I just say this? The paid parental leave scheme, which Mr. Abbott has identified as his core policy for this election, $22 billion. It's paid for by each and every one of you in this room through what will happen with the pass-on effects of the tax he puts on business, through the effect it will have on self-funded retirees and their earnings. I don't think that's right. I look forward to the continuation of discussion with you after this debate this evening. Thank you very much for your questions.
Prime Minister, thank you. Mr. Abbott, your closing remarks.
Thanks, David. Look, Mr. Rudd tried to make tonight's debate all about me. As far as I'm concerned, it should be all about you. How can the pair of us, in our own different ways, make your life better? And that's what I'm on about. That's why I do support a fair income paid parental leave scheme, because every single woman in the workforce will be better off under my scheme, and it won't be paid for by mum and dads. It'll be paid for by a modest levy on big business. So I really do wish that Mr. Rudd would stop trying to scare people about an important watershed social advance. So if the government changes on September the 7th, how will our country be different and better? First, we will stop the boats, because no self-respecting country allows people smugglers to decide who comes here. Second, we will get the budget under control by ending the waste, and whether it's the big waste of $11 billion in border protection cost blowouts or the small waste of the Department of Human Services spending $180,000 on studying ergonomic chairs, all of that waste will be ended. I support the National Broadband Network just as much as Mr. Rudd. I'll deliver it, because the Coalition is much more competent at actually getting things done than the Labor Party. Their National Broadband Network is on the never-never. It's way behind schedule and it's miles over budget. We'll get it done for $60 billion less, and we'll get it done by 2016. We will get cracking on building the roads that this country needs, starting with WestConnex. We will scrap the carbon tax because that's a hit on your cost of living, it's a hit on your job security, and it doesn't help the environment at all. So these are all the practical things that will change for the better if there is a change of government. Now, why should you trust me? You should trust the coalition because over the last 3 years we've had the same strong united team, we've had the same clear positions. Labor's had 2 changes of Prime Minister, they've had any number of changes of Minister. Frankly, it's been chaos, and I reckon the circus has got to stop, and the only way to stop the circus is to change the government. Thank you.
Well, we wish you both well in the remaining days of this election campaign. We wish you, the voters, as well too, with the decision that you have to make, an important decision for Australia's future. Would you please thank Prime Minister Kevin Rudd and Opposition Leader Tony Abbott.